Hi there. Here's a little change in the format. So, instead of talking about animated movies today, I will be talking about America's Got Talent. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite shows to watch, I will admit. I'm not much of a reality show fan, but I do, or even a fan of a lot of these you know, reality game shows where performers have to compete for you know you know to win some grand prize. But this one I really enjoy because it's like all these different types of talents, and the variety just makes it a lot of fun to watch. But it can also be very frustrating because a lot of the time, or there are times when acts that I really like do not make it as far as I wanted them to, and sometimes the voters at home just don't seem to have the appreciation for certain kinds of acts, and maybe a little too much appreciation for other kinds of acts. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll get to the point. So basically, I kind of wanted to talk about the semifinalists because we're at the semifinals of season 14 right now, and I kind of wanted to talk about each of the acts and what I think of them and who I think deserves to go to the final round. So I guess I'll just go ahead and get started now. I'm only going to talk about, for the time being, I'm only going to talk about the acts for this coming show. Um, Maybe I'll talk about the acts in week 2, like next week or something. But yeah, for now, let's just talk about the 11 acts performing this week. So, yeah, and just to clarify, 5 of them will go through to the finals, or 5 of the acts performing this week. So anyway, so first up we have Ansley Burns. So this girl is a fairly talented singer in that she's better than a lot of other kids, I guess. But yeah, I don't think she's very good compared to a lot of the other singers. Um, she's probably my least favorite act of the season overall. Um, so yeah, she was, in both the auditions and the, let's see. So yeah, the auditions and the judge cuts, that's what the second round is called. She kind of ran into a similar problem where the backing track kind of drowned her out, and then Simon made them stop the backing track, and she just sang a cappella, and she was somewhat better, I guess. But even then, I can't really say she's amazing or anything. I yeah, I think, or at the time, I felt she was overrated. But then they eliminated her in the judge cuts. And that same show they sent this Japanese tambourine player named Gonzo through, and he's clearly that act that they send to the live shows every season. That's so stupid and ridiculous, but it's kind of funny at the same time. And people always get super pissed about it. Um, and they compare the act that went through to the act that didn't. So yeah, everyone was like, Ansley should have gone through. Gonzo sucks. Blah blah blah. And yeah, honestly, I preferred Gonzo. I don't think Ansley's horrible or anything, but I just don't think she's that great. Um, But yeah, then came her. She got brought back as a wild card, as they call them, and yeah, she put on another. One thing I will give her is that like her song choices are fun and upbeat, and they can be kind of entertaining to watch. I did get a little bit of enjoyment out of her quarterfinal performance, but she's still like one of the weaker. It was still one of the weaker performances of the round. And she got put through thanks to the Duncan save that they call it, where people vote for. I think any fan of America's Got Talent gets the gist. They get the point. But yeah, here she is in the semifinals, and I don't think she deserved to make it this far. There are better acts that I think deserve to go through over her. I can, like, right off the top of my head, I can name one singer who deserved to go through way more than she did, and that's Charlotte Summers. I think she's one of the best singers of the season. I will say Charlotte's song choices might have been, like, maybe a little too big, like she's trying to, like, fill the shadow of the song she's singing or whatever, but at the very least, she's, like, an amazing enough singer that she can at least do the song's proper justice in some way or another. But yeah, as for Ansley, yeah, she's not nearly as good, and I'm hoping she gets eliminated this week. Like, I know she's like a country girl, so she's gonna have like a bunch of the Heartland vote, as they call it. And yeah, that makes me a little concerned, but yeah, I'm hoping she doesn't go through this time. Yeah, she'll probably be like the first act of the night, and maybe somebody will X her, but we'll just see. Like, whatever happens, I wish her the best, but she's still young. I'm sure she has a promising career ahead of her, but yeah, I don't think she's that great a singer right now, at least compared to like all these other singers. Anyway, next up we have another child singer named Benicio Bryant. So this kid is 14 years old, and the last couple of rounds he wrote his own songs, which I guess is nice. But yeah, I honestly don't think much of him. This kid has like a major fan base. Like, there's just, yeah, like, I don't know what it is, but there's just commenters everywhere that hold him up as like one of the best singers of the season. I don't think he's that great. I think he's good. Like, I did think his audition was pretty solid, and I give him props for writing his own songs in the later rounds. But yeah, he honestly kind of bores me. I know, like, he's probably the act that I am not rooting for most likely to make it into the final round for this week. But yeah, I'm hoping he falls a little short of that. Like, he's fine. I just don't think he's, in my view at least, I don't think he's worthy of the finals. At least, yeah, again, compared to some of the other singers this season. Again, I think Charlotte Summers is a far better singer than him, although I guess he still has an edge in writing his own songs. But, but yeah, either way, I do think he's a bit too overrated. So, speaking of overrated on this show, Close Up Magic. So next up is Eric Chen. Okay, to be perfectly clear, I do like him. and I do think he's probably gonna go to the finals either way. Like, he's a yeah, I think either way, people just love these close-up magic acts. And I will give him this. I really, really, or I thought he did a very, very good job with his audition. And then I think it kind of like fizzled out with each passing round. Like, each one got a little weaker than the last. And, even last week when he performed for the quarterfinals, Simon did kind of admit that he's getting a little bored with these kinds of acts, and he didn't do much to step it up this time. So yeah, he's so I do think he's overrated, but at the same time, I want to see him do well this time and earn himself a spot in the finals. But yeah, at the same time, I do think people are like blowing these close-up magic acts like way out of proportion. Like, every season, like, the acts that's gonna be like everyone's favorite act, like, it's always the close-up magician. Like, I mean, I just I like them. Yeah, the guy who won last season, Shin Lim, I thought he was really, really good. I think he's the best close-up magician we've ever seen on the show. Eric Chen showed a lot of promise to, like, kind of follow in his footsteps in a way, but, as the rounds went on, he seems more and more like he's living in Shin Lim's shadow, and, yeah. I know some people said that he has some tricks that might be, like, even better than Shin Lim's, but I'm yet to see them. And yeah, I'm just kind of sick of these close-up magic acts always being put on such a high pedestal. Like, even like, one of the common complaints about this show is like how singers are always like put on a pedestal by like the producers and the judges and stuff. But yeah, it seems like these same people like hold up magic, like close-up magicians, as like the perfect ideal what's the word, like, they're the ideal variety act. But yeah, I think close-up magic has gotten way too overrated on this show lately, and I'm still rooting for Eric Chen to do well enough to earn himself a spot in the finals, because I think he's probably going to earn himself a spot, or he's probably going to go to the finals anyway, but yeah, I hope he does really well this time, and yeah. I guess I'll leave it at that concerning close-up magic for now. Okay, so next we got Greg Morton. So this guy's entertaining. He does voices, and he's kind of like a comedian, but like, his sets are basically him like reenacting scenes from movies, and I would like it if he like tries changing up the medium, because I can already picture him doing like a killer cartoon themed set, doing like Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker. He already did a Daffy Duck impression in like the Judge Cuts, because I remember it was themed around movies as usual, but for some reason one of the impressions was Duck Dodgers and the 20. But whatever. This guy's entertaining. I do like him. But yeah, I don't think I see him as top 10 worthy. I don't think he's quite worthy of the finals. But apparently he is another act that has like a pretty big fan base. So we'll just see how he does, and I hope he does well. We'll see how he does in the end. And then we have another comedian act, Jackie Fabulous. So I'm kind of on the fence with this lady. I thought her Judge Cuts performance was pretty good. Like, she had some pretty funny jokes. But, I, I don't know if she's been really that funny otherwise. Like, I don't know. Her sets tend to have, like, a lot of pretty obvious, typical jokes that, aren't really pushing new ground for stand-up comedians. And one issue I kind of take with her consistently throughout the season is that she's kind of got this dry monotone in her delivery. She's like how it's like, I'm telling a joke, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Um, and I don't know. I think I do find myself tuning out from her a little too much. Like, the point of stand-up comedy is to make people laugh, and when I'm not even like paying attention a lot of the time, that's a problem. And yeah, I do think she's kind of overrated. But we'll see how she does this week. From what I've seen so far, I'd say the other stand-up comedian performing next week, Ryan Niemiller, I think he's a lot better. But yeah, we'll see how Jackie does. And next up, we got this year's winner, Cody Lee. Yeah, I just said it. He's gonna win, or at the very least, he's the one that they're intending should win. Like when I saw his audition, I'm like, oh, he's promising. I'm sure he'll go very far. I realized he was likely going to win the whole season, like when I saw people constantly talk about him online. So I realized how, like, big of a deal he was. That's how you can kind of tell who's going to win each season of the show, by seeing who's, like, the most talked about act in the auditions, who's got, like, the most views. They kind of averted that last season, because I think Courtney Hadwin was kind of being built up as the winner that season, but she didn't. She didn't even make the top 5. And you know what? I didn't feel Shin Lim was, like, I didn't think he was going to win. He didn't look like that act that was going to win last season. He looked more like the potential runner-up to Courtney. So yeah, I guess because Courtney developed such a backlash, I guess that's why Shin Lim ended up winning, because he was like the next one down in the ranks. But yeah, I do really like Cody. I think he's an excellent singer. And yeah, I wouldn't mind too much if he wins, but I would. Like, I do feel like the predictable format is getting stale. I kind of would like to see, like, a dance group win, or some kind of group act win. So far, the only act to ever win the show that isn't a solo performer is Olate Dogs, which was 2 guys with a bunch of dogs, and yeah. But yeah, aside from that, every single winner of this show has been a solo performer, and I would love to see, like, changes. I'd love to see people... Yeah, I'd love to see acts that haven't won the show before win the show, or types of acts that haven't won win. But I guess at the very least, Cody would be the first ever handicapped winner. And it is amazing what he can do under his condition. And yeah, I think he's really good. And yeah, I definitely consider him worthy of the top 10, and I'm sure he'll make the top 5 at the very least. But yeah, let's be real here. He seems slated to win the whole thing. So yeah, I guess there's not much else to say about him. Next up, we have Light Balance Kids. So I'm a sucker for these kinds of acts, like, people putting on these Christmas tree light costumes and dancing around in the dark, doing all these fun little special effects. I love them, and I love the original light balance, and you know, yeah. And I think these kids showed a lot of potential in like the first two rounds. Like, yeah, it was on par with what we've seen from the original light balance, and it's it's very impressive what they can do at such a young age. But yeah, I will admit their last performance was a bit of a letdown. It wasn't bad, just kind of safe compared to what we've seen before, and I am really, really hoping they turn it around this time and give us something awesome and, earn themselves a spot in the finals, because, yeah, they really deserve to go all the way to the end, and, yeah, I hope they earn themselves a spot. All right, next up is the Masoudi brothers. So these guys, like, I'm kind of gone back and forth with them. Like, their audition I thought was just okay. And then, like, I thought their judge cut performance was, like, amazing. Like, one of the best performances of the season. Because, like, all those formations they did. And with their old father. Like, yeah, it was amazing, in my opinion. And then the quarterfinals came, and it was kind of a lot of it was kind of the same as what we've seen in the previous round, and but still, I like this act. Although, let's be real, the main reason why they made it this far is because it's three hot guys taking their shirts off and climbing on top of each other. But yeah, they're probably not going to go to the finals. But yeah, we'll see how they do this week. So yeah. Okay, so even now, after hearing like Terry Crews pronounce their name several times, I'm still not sure how you pronounce their name. Ndlovu Youth Choir. I'm sorry if I botched that word, but yeah, choir from Africa. What was it, Nigeria? I really like them. They're a lot of fun. They're probably one of my favorite choirs to ever come on the show, if not my favorite, because yeah, they're just a lot of fun. But I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they're like top 10 material. I don't know. Again, we'll see how they do. Yeah, yeah. Some of these acts, I'm willing to see how they do this week, but otherwise, I don't have any like major strong opinions. And overall, I've already found the 5 that I would really love to go all the way to the final round. Including this next guy who seems to be the most underrated out of my ideal 5, and he might have the hardest time getting in there. But I really want him to go to the finals. Robert Finley. So this guy is a soul blues singer who like writes his own songs, and I really like his songs. Like, yeah, like they're like great classic what was it, Motown era soul music, and yeah, I really enjoy him, and I would love to have him in the finals, but yeah, he might have a bit of a hard time because there is some competition he's got to deal with. But yeah, I also think he's a good singer, especially for his age. Like, he's not necessarily the best singer of the season, but I don't know. I think he's kind of up there. I think he's a good enough singer to do his songs justice. simply put. Um, but yeah, I'm really rooting for him, and yeah, again, it's gonna be hard because I think it is pretty clear which acts have the fans, and I haven't really, I can't remember reading anyone else's comment saying that that he would go into the finals or that they want him to go into the finals. But I don't know if there's anyone watching this who like, if I can like, what's the word persuade you to vote him over like Benicio Bryan or I guess Greg Morton, then I guess that's a job well done. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite singers of the season, and I'd love to have him in the finals. Um, so yeah, finally we have Tyler Butler Figueroa. So this kid plays violin, he dances. Obviously, he's not the first to do that. We've had Lindsey Sterling in the past who didn't even make it past the quarterfinals, but now she's a superstar. So, and she's got a new album that's about to drop. So who's laughing now, right? And then just last season we had Brian King Joseph, who was my personal favorite act of the whole season last year. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that he at least made third place. And you know, I also really liked both of the acts that beat him. So yeah, I think last season was mostly pretty satisfying at the end. So yeah, Tyler is still young. Naturally, he's not nearly as good as those other two I brought up. But I still think he's promising. I do overall enjoy him. It's clear he mainly made it this far because of his story about like surviving cancer and getting bullied over it, and yeah, it's lame when acts make it through purely based on their sob stories. But yeah, I do like this kid enough that you know I'm willing to it. Or yeah, I like this kid enough that I know he's likely gonna go into the top 10, and I'm fine with that. Like, I legitimately like him, and yeah, we'll see how he does this week, uh, and yeah, that's all the acts. So, in conclusion, the five acts that I 5 acts this week that I want to go into the finals: Eric Chen, Cody Lee, Light Balance Kids, Robert Finley, and Tyler Butler Figueroa. So yeah, um, but yeah, I'm definitely not counting out Benicio Bryant. He could still very well steal one of those spots, possibly from like Robert or maybe even Light Balance Kids if they let us down again. Um, but yeah, we'll just see how things go this week. But yeah, those 5 that I named are the 5 that I want to have in the finals. So yeah. And I guess that's about all there is for now. And yep, Mash It and Smash It signing off.